this morning and just share a little bit of news or thoughts about a question that I very often get asked. And that is, if I'd known what I know now in business, what would I do differently? And it's such an important question. Hindsight is so valuable, isn't it? If I knew what I know now, I think I would have done things very differently. But it's all part of my story and part of my journey. And hopefully I have the wisdom to learn from it and make the necessary changes as I go, rather than keep doing the same things over and over and again, expecting different results, which in some cases I do. And I really need to get myself in line and change things. And in other cases, I really do learn first time and make the necessary changes. And I think we're all a little bit that way. I think we all have great potential, but sometimes we just get trapped in habits or mindsets. Anyway, what would I do differently? So if I were to start from the very beginning with my business, I think some of the key things that I would do differently is, first of all, I would pace myself. I would remember that I'm in this for the long run, that this is a long-term commitment, and I don't need to do everything every day and get so much done every week that I end up exhausted. I really would have set myself a more reasonable pace so that I didn't get to the point where I started to hate it and didn't want to do it anymore. And that's easier said than done, because when you start, you're so full of passion, you're so excited that all you want to do is work, all you want to do is build your business. But you can build up bitterness and resentment if you forget to have a life alongside your business. And so that would be the second thing I would do differently, but it very much ties into the first thing. And that is that I would have a life. I would not give up so much of life just to squeeze another hour of work in, or just to try and achieve another target, or make another sale, or help another person. I would be more balanced. And to be honest, that's still a struggle today. It's not the same struggle because I am more balanced and I am having more of a life, but it's still a constant struggle. It's still a constant pull because I'm in an ever-growing, ever-evolving business. It's getting bigger and bigger, and the demands are changing, and the demands on my time are always there. And I don't think that will ever change. What needs to change is my attitude towards it and my discipline, my self-discipline to work when I need to work, but play when I need to play, and to have a good balance between both. And so the more I learn to play and work, the more I start to love my work again. Whereas before, I got to a point where I just hated it because it was just sucking the life out of me. I was watching my children grow up and missing them. I was looking at them, but missing them, realizing that I wasn't actually with them. And balance is everything in business, that I would definitely have done that differently when I started. Another thing I think I would have done differently, knowing what I know now, is I would have had more of a solid plan when I started. Now, many of you who have heard my story know that I very much started the Women's Business Club by accident, and definitely didn't have a plan, and definitely didn't have any training or expertise. I did what most business owners do, and that is I just jumped in feet first and thought I'd figure it out as I go along, which I did, and it was great, and I've learned. But if I were to go back and do it again, I think I might have invested more in the setup. I would have invested more in the plan and more in equipping myself and more in getting more experts around me. So that's probably a few tips altogether, but really, before jumping into business, take time to set up a plan. The plan will change. You know, you learn and grow and it evolves. Business is never point A to point B. It's always, yes, point A, yes, point B. And business is this very unusual squiggly shape. So you can never plan and say it's going to go exactly according to plan. But I think if I'd done more on paper and done more calculations and done more thinking, I think I would have saved myself a lot of unnecessary steps and unnecessary expenses. So that's the planning side, but also the training side. Most business owners like myself, unless you have studied and have a degree and have trained, but most business owners just think they have a great idea and they'll run a business. They don't realize how much business goes into running a business. The idea might be great, but you need to know a lot to be really good at business. And so if I were to go back and start again, I think I would equip myself. I would do some courses. I would find out how to run a business effectively. And so that's why I'm very passionate at the Women's Business Club about offering as much training as possible. We offer our members as much training as they can cope with so that they can be equipped, so that they can learn what they need to know. And then the other thing that I would do differently, and this will be the final thing, otherwise there's so much I could have done differently. And let me just say, I have no regrets. I wouldn't want to go back and do it again because I have learned so much. But if I were given the opportunity maybe to start another business, for example, I would definitely take my own advice and I would do things differently. But anyway, the final thing that I would say is I would make sure I'm surrounding myself with the right people constantly. So I would identify mentors or people that I could collaborate with. I would also identify people that I need to bring into my team, whether it's outsourcing earlier on or getting experts in earlier along. But I think I struggled along alone for far too long, and I didn't invite experts into my team. I'm saying my team, but that could mean various things, but really to get people who are really good at what they do in areas where I'm not so good at those things, to get them on board and to get them to be involved in my business earlier on, I think would have saved me, again, a lot of time and money. So I have spent a lot of time and money making a lot of mistakes, and I've learned, but I could have saved myself all of that heartache if I just known what I know now. So I hope that's helpful. I hope that some of my mistakes will be mistakes that you don't have to make, and that you will really enjoy your business journey. Because if you're in it for the long run. Nobody builds a great, successful business overnight. It takes time. And if you're mindful that it could take 10, 20 years, then maybe you'd pace yourself more and enjoy the whole journey a lot more. There's more to life than business. There really is. And we don't realize that when we start out. When we start out, we are like business is everything and making money is everything. And then when you get down the road, a few years down the line, you suddenly realize, wait a minute, I really need to start. And then you start listing the things that you miss doing, like taking care of your health, like exercising, like having fun and doing things that you enjoy. So enjoy the journey. That's my top tip. I'm going to leave you with that today. If you are in business and you're just starting, enjoy the journey. Plan to enjoy the journey. And if you've been in a business for a while and it's starting to get you down and you don't know why you're even doing it in the first place, then stop and find a way to enjoy the journey. So thanks for listening, and I hope that's helpful. Have a brilliant day.